Right, here we are then. We are live. I haven't done one of these live Q&As for quite a while, so I thought it was about time I did one. I do get so many questions on my channel all of the time, and sometimes it is difficult to put that into words when I want to write quite a lengthy answer. So should anyone have any questions today, just ask away and I will do my best to answer them all. The majority of the questions that I'm getting is generally things like about the Commonwealth, and so many people are having trouble joining the army from the Commonwealth at this moment in time, and that's because there's such a backlog of personnel that the army are trying to recruit with regards to the British Army at this moment in time and joining from the Commonwealth. And it is a case of just, you have to keep at it all of the time. I understand it's an absolute nightmare. I understand that loads of people want to join from the Commonwealth as well. And it's a case of just checking all the time on the British Army website. But I do know that a lot of people do tell me it's down. It's generally because they're not taking applications at this moment in time. The years 2022 to 2023, that's filling up really quickly, and it might even be full already. But it's just a case of really battling on and gritting your teeth with it. Daniel Kilton, I am all right, mate. I hope you're all right as well. Other questions that I get is generally about, should people join the infantry, or should they go and actually get a trade like with the artillery or the engineers or something like that. I would definitely recommend joining the infantry. If somebody went into the careers office, they did their barb test, and they give the careers officer their GCSE scores, etc., and they were told that they can only join the infantry, great. It'll be a great career. For me, I'm a big advocate for the army as far as joining the army, and it is a great career. Now, I do get a lot of people on my videos who had a really bad experience with the army, but for me, it's been a good experience, and that's why I'm just coming into my 22nd year. I've done 21 years now. I hit my 22nd year on the 11th of June, and that's me with 12 months to push it then. So I do have a lot of experience should anyone have any questions. I also get a lot of questions about the fitness side as well, and some people are really struggling with the likes of the bleed test, and I completely understand that the bleed test is a lot more difficult than the 2-kilometer run, but it's just a case of training properly for the bleed test, and I've got loads of advice for that on my channel. Daniel's planning on joining in 2 years time, just trying to lose weight. Yeah, well, you got plenty of time, mate. If I was you personally, I wouldn't just try and lose loads of weight really quickly. I would really get into a habit of where you're losing weight consistently, small and often, and your body can keep up with it. So if you lose it too quickly, the chances are you'll just put it back on again. It's all about getting into a habit, getting down to your goal weight, and sticking at your goal weight when you're in that habit. Justice, how is educational policy when you join the army? If he wants to do my degree in law instead of pursuing a degree in my field as infantry, I'm joining from Ghana. So what the army can do is you get enhanced learning credits, and say you want to do a degree in law when you're in the army, you can use your enhanced learning credits to do that degree in law. So I did a degree in communications management, and the army paid something like £5,400 of that, and I only had to pay 600 quid of it, and that was me, and the army paid for essentially for me to do my degree. So you can do that. It's just you'll have to stump up the cash, but only like 80-90% will get paid by the military. Daniel did his first press up last week. That's awesome, mate. It's just once you do one, you'll be doing 2 and 3 in absolutely no time. Stick to that routine. Jonathan, what infantry regiment would I advise and why? I've worked with loads. I've worked with the Royal Irish, Mercians, Lancs are good, but I would pick somewhere that perhaps your friends are in already, and you may know someone that's in a particular infantry cap badge. But the thing is, you can join the infantry, and if you're not enjoying it, you can always recap badge into another infantry role. But I think the Mercians are pretty good as far as I would say. Your Mensa, if you use other means of getting into the country, either than the army letter, will that affect me subsequently? I don't know. I don't know about that. As long as you can get over here and you qualify to join the British Army, even as a Commonwealth soldier, that should be fine. Daniel Kimpton, what's my views on calisthenics? I think calisthenics is absolutely unbelievable, especially when you're trying to lose weight, because it's really hard on your body, and your body will get used to naturally carrying its own weight as well. So for me, calisthenics is absolutely brilliant. I went through a phase, well, you can see it on my channel. I do loads of it now, burpees, hundreds and hundreds of burpees all of the time. I haven't done it for the past like month or two. Well, in fact, I put a video out there of doing 8 burpees a minute for 40 minutes. So it's something like that you can work towards. Even if you're just doing 1 burpee a minute for 40 minutes, you're still doing 40 press ups as well, and 40 burpees in total. So therefore you'll be surprised when you think you'd only done your first press up last week. The next thing, you can do 1 a minute for 40 minutes and you've done 40. Sidoni, hope I've said that correctly. If I wanted to be a combat medic, do they accept functional skills level 2 in maths, or do they only? Oh, I think they do accept functional skills, because in the military, to get promoted to, I think it's like sergeant in the military, they brought in a law whereby you have to have maths level 2 with regards to functional skills. So chances are, yeah, they will accept me. Don't quote me on it, but I think they probably will. Joseph, how many push-ups and sit-ups should I be able to do prior to basic training? To be honest, they don't really test you in push-ups and sit-ups anymore. But it's not a case of how many you should be able to do. I would look at the endurance side, and more of how long can you sustainably do them within a given period of time. So if you watch one of my YouTube videos with regards to burpees and things, I've like in the past, I've done 10, 11 burpees a minute for 40 minutes. But if you can do like 4 or 5 of them, 4 or 5 burpees a minute for 40 minutes, you'd be absolutely fine, and you'll certainly pass basic training. Yeah, the rifles do look good. Danny's currently stuck on 2 press ups. That's absolutely fine, mate. You just keep at it. That's the main thing. Jacob, what kind of qualifications can you get while in the infantry? Any chance they'd help fund a war studies degree? Yeah, Jacob, they really will. If all you'd have to do is ensure that the war studies would fall under the ELC topic, so that your enhanced learning credits will cover certain things and certain qualifications. I would imagine war studies would fall under that, I'm sure. And then all you would do is just take all your paperwork for the war studies degree, you take it to your clerk, and then they'll tell you what to do from there. But education within the military, they really, really push it on you, and I think it's the way forward. Ronald, how soon would I start training if I join the Royal Engineers, in particular as a trust? If you're a UK citizen, that will all depend when the basic training starts for the engineers. I know I had one guy chat to me on in one of the comments on my YouTube video, and he's been waiting like 4 months to start basic training. And then I get others which literally go to the assessment center and they start basic training within three to 4 weeks afterwards. So it can be a couple of months, but it could be quite quick as well. Daniel, not sure on what role to go for with mechanized infantry, which there's barely any content on, or light raw. I can look into that for the types of roles in mechanized infantry. If you just leave a comment on this one, and I'll see if I can look into it tomorrow and get you some roles that you can mechanized. I don't know if you tried googling mechanized infantry, and that might bring you up on, because every cat badge will have their own website. So you need to look at the cat badge the mech in falls under, and then Google it, and then that'll take you to their website, and that'll give you far more information. Jonathan, how long does it take from assessment center to basic training? Like I said, it can. It's like how long is a piece of string. If everything goes swimmingly at the assessment center and it's a basic training, that can start soon. It could be 4 to 6 weeks, or like I said, I've been speaking to people and it's taken them 4 or 5 months. So that's a bit of luck a lot of the time with regards to that. Anima, hi Sam, there's a possibility the army's going to be recruiting. Is there a possibility? Look, from what I've read with regard, I don't want to give duff information, but essentially for what I've read, it's pretty much full at this moment in time with regards to Commonwealth soldiers. However, if that application, or if the website opens up for Commonwealth, then they're taking applications. They might start taking them around September, October time, ready for the new intake of 23 to 24. But if I was you, I'd just be checking every single day. Check it every single day and just be that first person that gets on there to submit an application. Daniel Kilmton, appreciate no dramas. Thanks, man. I appreciate you being on here, to be honest. Fallen, been here since 1,000. Glad to see you going strong. Thanks very much. I know, I can't believe it. I've gone from 1,000 to I've got like 5,100 odd now. It's absolutely amazing. And that's all thanks to you guys, obviously, for subscribing. I really do appreciate it. Roland, I'm a heavyweight lifter, and Bill, will that possibly hurt my chances of joining the army? To be honest, as long as you can run, as long as you can pass the fitness tests, it doesn't matter how big you are, really. It might flag up on the BMI, but there's a BMI on my channel. You can check that against. You just put in your height and weight. But essentially, if you can pass a fitness test, there's no problem. If you can't pass the fitness test, you're going to have to do CV, which I know lifters hate doing CV, but you're going to have to do more CV, and you might have to drop, a couple of kilos until you get yourself into fighting shape, join the army. Then you can just get straight back to it after basic training, get to your phase 2 unit, or once you get to your working unit, you can get straight back, pushing iron around the gym. Daniel had issues with his tailbone with doing sit-ups, but now he has a mat, which makes it much better. Yeah, it's key, man. Getting the right equipment. I used to be the same. I just fancy just doing some sit-ups at home or something like that, and you're doing it on your carpet, and it is bad for your tailbone. But yeah, good. I did get something thicker than a yoga mat, because they're just like really thin. Well, just strip some material, really. Yeah, get something thick. So that's a good job. Good job you did that. Cora Beth, what's the difference between medical support officer and combat medic? I think I would imagine the medical support officer will probably be a commissioned officer, and the combat medic will go through the non-commissioned route. You just do your basic training, but the medical support officer will probably go to Sandhurst. Bob Bobbinson, love the name. What are the options when signing on? How many years you want to be in the army? Essentially, what happened is you're going to do 4 years either way, but you get given quite a lot of grace, man. You get given quite a lot of grace to take yourself out of basic training, and they'll let you know in basic training when your last chances, essentially, to take yourself out of basic training. If you're under 18, you get a lot longer. If you're over 18, you get a little bit less. But once you finish basic training, generally, you've got 4 years to do in the army. But of course, what will happen is you say 4 years, but you can sign off after 3 years. So you've only got 1 year then to do a little bit of a settlement to get yourself ready. So essentially, it is 4 years though, but you can sign off after three. So you're in your last year anyway. Come your 4 years. Um, what's downtime like for infantry soldiers? That's Jonathan Simbango. Yeah, good mate. Everyone gets downtime. Like when you're busy in the army, you tend to be like really, really busy for like long periods of time, and then you'll get like long periods of time with a lot of downtime, and you think actually I'd rather be busy again at this moment in time. But the army isn't all 100 miles an hour 100% of the time. It can be at certain points, but it's not for like a full year, unless you're on tour where it is for like 6 months. But generally, you will get downtime, so there's no need to worry about that. Are kettlebells a good way to train for the assessment center fitness test? That's Joseph Jones. Yes, 100% they are, because it'll build up your all over body strength if you're doing the correct exercises, especially your core. And when you're looking at tests within the army, it's all about carrying weight. You're doing the hex bar deadlift, med ball throws, and if you can throw a kettlebell around and you're really stable with it and you're not injuring yourself with it and you've got a good core, kettlebells are a great way to get fit and prepare yourself for the military. Sam Cohen, hope you're well. Thanks, mate. Hope you are as well. Like your name. Each base is an army education center. I was wondering what they do for soldiers and what they taught. Not every base. In fact, army education centers, there's like about 7 or 8 throughout the UK. Not every base has an army education center. The army education center is generally where you go for your upskilling, where say for instance you get promoted. Chances are part of that promotion course, once you've been selected for promotion, you'll go to an army education center. Everything, or the majority of education purposes within the military is done online at this moment in time. Jacob, what opportunities would you say people miss out on in the army because they don't know about them? Oh, education is a massive one. Education's a massive one. There is so many qualifications that you can get through the army. So I'm like a fully qualified project manager now, and I got a degree, and I did all of that through the army. The amount of qualifications that you can get for free, that my degree wasn't free, but I'm now a fully qualified project manager, and I did all those qualifications through the military. So there's so much you can do with the military that people don't think about doing, which I was one of them. Don't think about doing until they're in like their last 18 months of their career. Then they go and start doing courses. But I would say just bang on with those courses as soon as possible. And also AT, get on as much adventure training as you can as well. So Gary Donahue, hi Gary, he's just winding me up. He wants to join the SAS. How does he go about it? Got to join the army first, Gary. That's for sure, mate. Jonathan, can you join the new Ranger Regiment straight from basic? No, you can't. You can't join the new Ranger Regiment straight from. Oh, I don't think so. I don't think you can anyway. I think you'll transfer once you've done selection. What's a day in the life for a normal infantry soldier? Well, the thing is, it depends what you're doing. It'll depend on where you are in the infantry. If you're looking after, say, vehicles or weapons, you might be weapon cleaning, prepping your weapons, getting ready for exercise, or there might not be a lot to do, and it might just be a case of you just doing normal training, infantry tactics, infantry drills. You might be doing, we used to call them MATs, your mandatory annual training tests. They're called ITRs or IRTs, I think now. You might be doing something like that. So it could be anything. You could be doing drills. You could be cleaning equipment. You could be going on exercise. You could be doing absolutely anything, mate. There's a lot to do, but some days will be boring. Some days will be really busy. What do I think of the Anglians? Good. Look, there's so many good. I really haven't got a bad thing to say about any regiment in the British Army. I haven't served with the Anglians, and I don't think I know many people. I don't know anyone in the Anglians. Some people will tell you they're bad. Some people will tell you they're good. But for me, everything in the army is good. I haven't got a bad word to say about it. But that's just me personally. Can you do weekly fitness challenges for us to follow along to get more army fit? That's Cora Beth. Yeah, do you know what? I can. The thing is with the fitness ones, I don't put a lot out there because it doesn't get many views. So I'm guessing that not a lot of people want it on my channel. They want more things like this, or they want more information about the army. But yeah, I can certainly do weekly challenges. That's for sure. That's for sure. I'll certainly get into that. Ronald, are you allowed to do some private jobs on the side? Not necessarily a part-time job. Yeah, you are. So you can do this one of two ways essentially. You can do jobs on the side whereby if you're getting employed, say part-time in an evening or on weekends, you have to let your chain of command know. But say you're just doing like a cash in hand job every now and again, then that's absolutely fine. Well, it's not fine. You have to let people know if you're working, but generally cash in hand jobs, you'll just go and do it. But if you've been employed by another business, a legit business, then you'd have to let your chain of command know, and they'll make the decision from there. Utam Pan, good evening. Good evening to you as well, buddy. I would like to know how you can transfer from infantry to Royal Artillery. So if you're in the infantry already, you have to go. I've done a video. Done a video on my channel, mate. Step-by-step guide how you can transfer from the infantry, not from the infantry into the Royal Artillery, but how you can transfer from one cap badge to another. It's all online now via the DLE. So jump on the DLE or watch my video and I'll take you through it step by step on that. Alex Brown, what does the assessment process for the intelligence corps consist of? I think that's a little bit different, the INCOR. I've got a few people, I've worked with the INCOR, some of my best mates at INCOR. It's a little bit different, and you do your phase 2 at Chicksans. But I think you have some extra like cognitive tests. So you'll do your assessment center. You might do an extra test, an extra cognitive test. Then you go on to basic training. Then you'll move on to Chicksans. What phase can you go on the all arms course? You'll go on the all arms course when you get to unit. So once you've done phase 1 and 2, you'll go on the all arms course after that. Bob Bobinson has been really struggling. We've been able to run 1.2 miles in the time required. Any tips and help would be really appreciated. I tried to join to go to Harrogate, failed the run by 7 seconds. Okay, so for you, Bob, your best bet is you've probably been doing like quite long runs to get fit for it, which it'll drop you weight and everything, but it won't get you fit just to run like 1.2 miles. So the key is shorter, sharper runs, and to do things like fartlek training, where you like say sprint 100 meters, jog 100 meters, sprint 100 meters, jog 100 meters, things like that. Increase it to 200, increase it to 400. It's shorter, sharp hit training that'll improve you further for the 1.2 miles, and also get on hill reps as well, which I've got videos of as well on my channel. What's the difference between an exercise and an operation? Yeah, so when you go on exercise, it's not always done in this country, but when you go on exercise, you generally, unless it's a huge scale exercise where you're exercising with other cap badges, you generally exercise within the regiment that you're in, and you're just on exercise. But with an operation, you'll generally be going to the likes of Iraq, Afghan, perhaps Estonia, places like that. You'll be going on an operation where you have a fixed mission. Yeah, so you're pretty much right. Gary, hope you're well, mate. What's the Army's policy on transgender soldiers? Recruitment. So there are transgenders within the military at this moment in time. With regards to their recruitment policy, I'm not entirely sure, to be honest with you. But you go for it, mate. You go for it. See what they say. Jacob, I know you mentioned courses the army can put you through. Do you know if you can do an animal first aid course? Potentially, that would be from a different set of education allowances. That would be a standard learning credits. But of course, if you're within military working dogs, or if you are perhaps as I doubt as a medic or anything like that, but essentially you'd have a look for it, and if the army will fund it, the army will fund it as long as it brings benefit to the regiment that you are in. If you're looking for standard learning credits, which is up to like say £300 for the short course, um, they'll only pay for that if it brings a benefit to your regiment. However, you could have a look and see if the army run one and just apply for that course. Bob, you paint a lot of army camps. Paint a lot of army camps. And when I speak to any soldiers, a lot of them speak about leaving the army. Why do you think that is? Look, it's you know the amount of people that get out from the army is something. It is a huge amount of people that get out the army each year from the army. Some people stay on, some people don't. Some people like it, some people don't, and that is why people get out. But they get in, so they must have wanted to join the army at some point. They must have wanted to join the army at some point. So therefore, so essentially, you won't know how much you like the army until you join it. But you can get out like them. They've had a go. It's something good to put on your CV as well. Try and get as much out of it as possible. And if you don't like it, then you can get out. But you never know. You're a different person to those that you're speaking to. So if you want to try it, I would go for it, mate. What's better, Royal Marines or Paras? Both do different jobs, really. If I was going to join one or the other, I join the Royal Marines, me personally. But I've never really thought about it. They both do different jobs, but for me, I join the Royal Marines. Could you do an infantry soldier kit issue video of that done breach? No, shouldn't do. Oh, dang it. There's like loads coming in. Hang on, I know you've done a vid on your webbing. Would be interested to see how that fits into the system. Yeah, I'll have a look at that. So that's from Nuclear Yorkshire. I'll have a look at that. See if I can find a kit issue as well, and see how much of that that I actually have. TJ, should I be doing a lot of weighted, fast-paced walks when training? Yeah, but you've got to build up. You've got to build up to things like that. So I would just have a little day sack on backpack with like 1 or 2 kilograms. See how you get on with that, and build your body up to it. Because obviously, if you're carrying a lot of weight on your back, it's also compressing your spine as well. So you really got to work your body up to doing something like that. But as far as training is concerned, I really do think it's a great way of training, me personally. So yeah, I would definitely include it into your training plan. Nathaniel, do I know how often a reservist can go on ops? So with regard to the reserves and going on ops, essentially you get called up. You would get called up, and that unit, if they were due a rotation on ops, they get called up. How often would you go? Well, considering the regular army that I'm in is getting smaller, and the reservists are getting utilised far more, you'll probably end up going fairly often. If there's an op going on and the regular army are going, the chances are there'll be reservists going as well. So you could end up going as well. Normal working day for the average soldier. Generally, it'll be like you'll get up for scoff. Say like infantry, you'll get up for scoff, have scoff, get to work between 8:30, and then take your day from there. You'll probably do fizz in that day as well, and then usually finish around 4:30, 5 o'clock. But that, like I say, that differs for everyone. But generally, every day you'll probably have a fizz session in it. And you'll have some sort of first works parades on your vehicles or whatever you're maintaining, and there'll be some sort of drills and skills involved in that as well. So some days will be busy and some days won't. Is initial recruitment training difficult? That's naughty Nigel. The initial recruitment training. I wouldn't say it's that difficult. It's now 14 weeks. So soldiers get a bit of extra time to themselves on basic training. They get to go home on certain weekends. When I went through basic training ages ago, we only got to go home one weekend out of those 12 weeks. But now I think they get to go home like three or four weekends. You don't hear of many people failing it unless they get injured and they get back caused or they get discharged from the army due to an injury. So for me personally, I wouldn't say it's that difficult. And I teach phase 2 soldiers, and you never hear them talking about how difficult basic training is. So I would say it's not that tough at all. I think if you go on in there with a positive mindset, you'd be absolutely fine. Okay, Jonathan, in the 21 years you've been in the army, where have I been and how often do you get to travel abroad? And do I get to choose where to go? Well, you don't get to choose where to go when you travel abroad unless you go in like on AT. But I've had postings to like Germany. That was in my first couple of years in the army. I was posted to Germany. That was an amazing postage, a great 2 years there. I was posted to London in bomb disposal. That was an amazing 2 years there. And I was up north in Lincoln. That was a really good 2 years there. That's a really good historic city. Posted in Wales. I'm currently in Blandford, right by Bournemouth. Been all over the world with the military as well. Yeah, I've got to see a lot of the world with the military, but because of the pay starts rubbish. The pay starts rubbish. I won't lie about that. But as you progress up through the ranks, the pay does get a lot better. So I've been able to go to places like Japan with my family, South Korea, Dubai, all the places. So I think that's probably why I recommend it so much as well, because I've really used how you get paid within the army and what the army offers you really to my advantage. Joe Clark starting basic on the 19th. Good luck, mate. Really wish you the best of luck for that. Henry, oh, hi, mate. Do you work with other forces? Yeah, I work with Royal Navy and RAF. I also work with Marines. You get to work with everyone, but that's within the Royal Signals and my trade. Perhaps if you're like a different cap badge, you might not get to work with the likes of the RAF and the Royal Navy. But I've worked with the Marines closely, or RAF closely, Royal Navy closely. Worked with all of them, and generally they're a really good bunch as well. Ronald, is it possible to transfer from the army to the RAF? Yeah, it is 100%. The transfer probably take a little while. It can take a little while to do that, but it is possible for sure. Bob, what's the work exactly? Is it studying in a classroom like physical work? Oh yeah, some of it might be physical, some of it might be studying in a classroom. You might be going on exercise, so then you're like digging shell scrapes if you're staying out overnight, putting out your sentries, things like that. Or you might be actually in a classroom if you're training, say you're doing like weapon handling. Fingers crossed you might be able to do it outside, but if you're doing weapon handling, or you're doing battlefield combat drills, trade casualty drills trainer, that can be outside. So a lot of it depends on the weather and where you can actually do the day-to-day training if you're not on exercise or ops. Nuclear, would I recommend buying a set of PLC webbing like I've got, or going for the newer set from JJ's? Oh, to be honest, Nuclear Yorkshire, I go for a newer set, mate. Mine's old, but it just fits me perfectly. But I'd buy a newer set. I would definitely buy a Vertex set of webbing if you can get it. If you're lucky, you might get it issued to you. You can get it issued to you, but I'm at a training establishment, so I don't need it. But if you're at an operational camp, then you'll get it issued to you. But if not, yeah, I go ahead and get a set. Why do I think the American military is not going down in size, but the UK military is? I don't know much about the American military, but the British military are going down in size because can't afford it essentially. So what they're saying is they're trying to spend more money on kit and equipment to better equip the soldier rather than having lots of poorly equipped soldiers. They'd rather have less really well equipped soldiers is essentially the line. And that can make sense, and that can make sense. But of course, should a campaign kick off on the other side of the world, then they just heighten recruiting anyway. Do you get posted? Oh, well, didn't know you get posted places from other. Yeah, so when you go to a working unit, you could be a working unit for years and years, or you might just be there a couple of years. But if you're on operations abroad, say like Iraq, Afghan, that'll generally be 6 to 8 months generally. Enoch, so the army is now allowing privates to train for Apache pilots. Are there any qualifications required for this? I would imagine for Apache pilots, it's going to be a case of like your maths, English, sciences. They'll probably want someone really well educated, and you've got to go and sit loads of tests as well. I know someone that went for a pilot, and they God, they said there were so many like tests that they had to sit through, and they failed 1 or 2 of them. So unfortunately, they didn't get through. I can't remember what those tests were, but yeah. So you'll need the educational qualifications, and then you'll go and sit more cognitive tests from there. Then, Bob, would you rather join the Navy or RAF or stay with the Army? Oh, stay with the Army, 100%. Stay. I cannot see myself in blue or white uniform. There's no way. If I had to have my time again, I'd still join the army for sure. But if somebody said I wasn't allowed to join the army, I'd probably join the Navy. I'd probably join the Navy and become a physical training instructor in the Navy. If I want to join in the army. Nuclear Yorkshire, Signal Certacito. Yeah, you got it, mate. Bang on. Nice one. Reload Gaming, any knowledge regarding moving Regiment to Army Air Corps and trying for pilot training? I think what you do is do an application for pilot training into the Army Air Corps, which will probably be done at Middle Wallop, which is just down the road from me actually here. I think you do an application and go for some form of screening. And if you were successful, then you change cap badge after that. Anima Scola, how do married women in the army with kids cope? Man, it's tough. If you're single and married in the military, and you have single and married, if you're single with children in the military, it can be tough. But the military is accommodating far more for married personnel. They'll post you to a unit that generally won't be deployable. Generally will be deployable, so you'll get a bit more time, and you'll know your working week, etc., well in advance, so you'd be able to work around the children. But it's still difficult because at the end of the day, you're still in the army, and it's army first and family second. So if you were told to do something, you'd have to go and do it. So then you'd have to seek childcare, which I know is expensive. And if you didn't have family over here who could look after the children, it does become far more difficult. People do manage it, but I know it is difficult. Daniel, how often do you go on an operation? I just got to scroll up here, sorry. How often do you go on an operation? Oh, I haven't been on one for 8. Oh, well, I say that. I was away last year for a month. You could go, I went like good, I went operation, had a year off, then I went on operation straight after that. Then I didn't go on ops for like, I don't know, 4 years. And then I went on an operation, had a year off, straight back onto an operation as well. So there's no fixed timeline unless you're in like an operation rotation. Say your regiment goes out once every other year or something, then you're at that unit, then you'll go every other year. But if you're not at that unit, then you might not go on up. There's people in the military now, sergeants and staff sergeants, who don't have any medals, and they've never been on an operation because they've just been unlucky. They've been at units that just haven't been in that rotation and deployed to Iraq or Afghan or anything like that, where they can get a medal. So some people might never go on up. Some people might be on them all of the time. Javier Rodriguez, best exercises to prepare for basic. I would say watch my videos on that. I've got loads of videos on here which go through the best exercises to prepare for basic with regards to HIIT training, and getting you prepared for lots of CV. And if you're good at HIIT training as well, high intensity interval training, generally you'll recover better and recover quicker as well. Bob, do you work weekends or is it a normal working week? Some weekends you'll be working, some weekends you won't. That's another thing why some people get out the army as well, because if you're at a really busy unit, you might have you might be working, like all week, like 3 weekends out of a month, because you might be on exercise, and then you might come off that exercise. You'll be using that weekend then to clean all your kit before you then go back out on exercise. But generally it is a 5-day working week, unless you're on exercise or a course where that might run over the weekend. But the military is a 5-day working week unless you're on exercise or courses. Amari, am I allowed to say my trade? Yeah, I'm in electronic warfare within the Royal Signals. There's no dramas me to say my trade. The USA is so this is Shreyansh Sharma. USA is in a decline. How will it affect other developing economies? That's a tough one, because that a lot of it's stemming from the likes of coronavirus and the amount of money people spend, and then people now aren't getting wheat and things like that from Russia and Ukraine, and gas is going up as well. But I'm not particularly a great political mind, but it will affect other economies. But still, the US dollar is getting way stronger against the pound, and the pound is so much weaker than what it was 10 years ago. It was $2 to a pound. Now it's $1.26 to a pound. So it's affecting. If it's growing against the pound at this moment in time, but the whole world is in a decline, I would say, at this moment in time. Do I know is reserve training very intense? I don't think it's amazingly intense. You'll learn the same things as you would do in regular basic training. I work with a reserve captain who comes in once or twice a month, and speaking to him, and it's fairly similar to regular basic training, and then you'll have to do your nights and weekends, etc. So yeah, it won't be that intense. Shreyansh, what do I think about woke military ads? I think woke military ads, look, you're looking at a demographic. They're looking at a demographic, the military are here. Some people are going to want to sit behind a computer, get into that network interrogation and get into cyber, and some people don't want to do that. So they're looking for a particular demographic, and if that's the way the army want to recruit, then that's almost part of the way war might go in the future. It'll be done from one country against another country. It might not get done on the battlefield. So it depends who they want to recruit and if it'll work. But if that's how they got to go about it, that's how they got to go about it, I guess. What's the most difficult part of basic training? Oh, getting up in the morning by miles. Getting up in the morning if you're going to bed late. You've just come off. You've been working till 8 or 9 at night, and then the next thing you're up at like 5:30 the next morning after you've been up till like 1 or 2 o'clock ironing all your kit. Then you have to be up super early in the morning to remake your bed ready for the 6 o'clock inspection. getting up in the morning was the hardest part of basic training. But you're in a big room, so there's no way you're going to sleep in anyway, because there might be 10 people in your room. So it wakes you up. You just feel a bit rubbish to begin with. What's the minimum year of service to qualify for the pension? I think it's 2 years. And you'll qualify for the pension, but you won't be able to get that pension until you're like of state pensionable age, I think, which is like 67 for men now. Dependent on what pension scheme you're on, but that pension is going to be very, very low. If you want an immediate pension, it's 22 years for me, but now a bit longer, and you're not getting an immediate pension until you're 55, regardless of how long you do. You're not getting one. I'm just very lucky that about when I joined. Already halfway through 2022 is crazy. Sir Clownhead. Oh, hello, Sir Clownhead. It is. It's absolutely mental how fast this year has gone by. And we've only got 6 months to go until Christmas. Little legend. Bob Bobbinson, why is that? Oh, to stay in the army. I've had soldiers recommend to me, yeah, join the Navy. The thing about the Navy is you're going on ships. Some of my friends, when I say friends, the guys I've worked with, they've been like going around the Caribbean, and you'll get a chance, even though you won't join the Navy as a submariner, you still might get a chance to go on a submarine and do a bit of work on submarines as well. So I would pick the army. However, the other service I would join would be the Navy. So yeah, the Navy's a good gig, man. It's a good gig. Gary, yeah, nice one. Henry, how long does it take to transfer from Navy to Army? It can take months to transfer from Navy to Army. It can take quite a long time, especially with Navy. You then have to do basic training as well. I know one guy transferred from Inc. Corps to RAF officer, and that took him like 8 or 9 months just to get through everything. You go through medicals, go through a screening, etc. So it can take months. However, it could be a bit shorter if you want to join. You go Army to Navy. If you're looking at or Navy to Army, if you're looking to join the Army from the Navy into a trade that they're desperately trying to fill people with, then it might be a bit quicker. It might be 5 or 6 months, for instance. Javier Rodriguez, yeah, 2 Signal Regiment. Have I got any mates there? No, I don't. I don't think I've got any friends there. But if you go on the Royal Signal's website, that'll tell you what 2 Sigs do. Bob Bobinson, what's the hardest fitness exercise I've experienced? Hands down, is the assault course. Getting thrashed on the assault course is the hardest fitness exercise I've experienced. Absolute grizz. You got all your kit on, and you got your weapon as well, and you're getting thrashed round and round the assault course. That's the hardest one. That is the hardest one by miles. And I know some people say, "Oh yeah, you felt great at the end." I didn't feel great at the end. I felt rubbish at the end. It was hard. How long does an application? Oh, this is Colin McKenzie. How long does the application process take to join the army? If you're doing it from the UK, it can take, like 7 months. If you're doing it from the Commonwealth, God, it's taking people years and years and years. It's fast for some and really slow for others. It'll depend on your medical and if your doctor sent you through all the paperwork. But it's a matter of months rather than weeks. Daniel, how often do soldiers get posted? So soldiers will get posted on promotion to a new unit. Say you promote from corporal to sergeant and there's no sergeant places at the unit where you're at, you'll get posted from there. Or some soldiers get posted for 2 or 3 years at a unit, and then you get posted after that as well. So generally it's every 2 or 3 years people will be getting posted. Enoch, can you retake your GCSE when you join the army, and how long would it take, and can you begin immediately after phase 2? Yeah, you can. However, because I know you can do things like night school if you're at a unit and there's like a college or something nearby, you can go to night school. I knew someone from my first unit that I was at years ago. He was going to night school to do just that. So as long as you chain of command are happy with it, then you can go and resit your GCSE. Jacob, I'm not sure if it's still how they do it, but the infantry can be attached to EOD to protect them. Do they still do that? If so, can you get involved? Generally, it's like the RLC signals and engineers within EOD. Within this country, and then when you go on tour, yeah, you might have infantry escorts, etc. But generally, within EOD is engineers, signals, and RLC within this country. So I don't know if the infantry can get attached to it, though. I couldn't tell you. Reload gaming, yeah, I think it's PD 206 and chain of command cancel that request for Army Air Corps. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, look into it further. Reload, yeah, for sure. Jonathan, for Commonwealth soldiers, can you adjust your given assessment date to a later date? Yeah, I would imagine you can, but I probably wouldn't if I was you, because it's taking ages at this moment in time. I would probably do your best to make the date that they gave you, if they can. If you have to postpone it, then postpone it. But if you don't have to, I probably wouldn't. Bob Robinson, what was my expectations when I joined the army and did anything? Yeah, so my expectations when I joined, when I went in basic training, all I ever wanted to be was to get the rank of corporal and then just take it from there. I just wanted to join the army. I didn't know how long I was going to stay in for. I just thought, right, I'll join the army. I picked my trade, EW, specialist operator was called at the time. I picked my trade, and let's see where it takes me and go from there. And it's worked out well. But all I ever wanted to get to was corporal. I was lucky. I made it to one officer, but that's all I ever wanted. And takes me by surprise. The amount of clowns in the army takes me by surprise. The amount of amazingly good people in the army takes me by surprise. I'm intelligent. Some people are stupid. Some people are. Yeah, every day's a school day, as they say. What regiment gets deployed the most? Well, that'll be 18 Signal Regiment. 18 SIGs generally. At Hereford, they get deployed the most. Bob, what do I plan on doing? Oh my God, I'm going right down here. What qualities? Kimchi. What qualities do you think most new officers lack in leadership that you think soldiers need from their officers? Some officers I've met are absolutely amazing. I'm like, wow, man, you are an amazing person, like way more intelligent than I could ever wish to be. They're amazing people. But some that I've also met, they will not take on criticism, or they will not be told that they are wrong, and they don't like being told that they are wrong, and they don't like taking constructive criticism. And the ones that do generally are the best ones. The ones that will listen to reason from other people. They're generally the really good ones. They're generally the good ones for me. Ahmad Issa, when will Commonwealth nations application start? Absolutely no idea. Like the year 22 to 23 probably might be full, so it might not start till next year, or it might start later this year. But like I said earlier, just keep at it. Just keep grinding away, getting on, trying to submit an application every day. I know it's not what people want to hear, but it's the truth, unfortunately. I don't have any idea when intakes are. Sorry, Bob. Nadia, what trades are the signals crying out for at the minute? Well, EW would be a good one to get into. I'm not just saying that because that's my trade, but it's a case of we're setting up a new regiment. There's going to be extra courses ran as well, so they'll need an uptake in trainees, cyber engineers. I think anything in the signals really that you could probably apply for and you get it, and you get it. Infrastructure engineers, power engineers, anything like that. You could just go for and you'd probably get it, to be honest with you. But there might be a bit of wait time for the likes of EW and cyber engineer. But if you want to be like a supply chain operative or a power engineer, then you'll probably get in quite quickly with that. What's the best fast track application for overseas Commonwealth? I don't think there is one, Enoch, to be honest with you, mate. I really, really don't think there is one. I think it's just a case of applying and hoping for the best. Sorry, mate. David Scala, how old do you have to be to join the British Army? 16 years and 9 months you have to be. That's you done. Javier, have glasses caused any inconvenience during your career? No, because I only started wearing them full time, my glasses, about 3 or 4 years ago. I hit 39, 40, and then I woke up one morning and I felt as if I was blind. So I've only started wearing them full time. I used to just wear them reading or at the computer. But now I have to wear them full time. But no, it hasn't caused me any inconvenience, and I don't think it will now, because I'm just an instructor now, so it won't be much of a drama. But I always take, if I go away on courses or exercise or ops or anything like that, I always take 2 or 3 sets for me, just in case I break one. But no, generally it's never caused me any inconvenience at all. Gary, heard the RLC is great. Yeah, the RLC is great. That is the truth. Scott Summers, passed selection yesterday. Well done, buddy. Congratulations. You're looking to join the Remy as an armourer. Can you say how long it'll take to get my start date? Passed with an A grade. Good damn. That is good going, mate. Well done. Remus, I'm surprised they didn't give you an estimate at the assessment centre. You could ring your recruiter though, with regards to how long, if there's a long wait time for armour, and they might be able to tell you. But generally, some people have been waiting 3 months, and some people have been starting in 6 weeks time. So you could be lucky. I'll say between 6 and 12 weeks. That's probably the best estimate I can give you, unfortunately, mate. But once again, well done, Scott. Riley, how hard is it to transfer from Royal Artillery to Royal Engineers? It's all online, the transfer process. It's not difficult. You'll just have to go through a couple of interviews, submit some paperwork, and also the job that you want to go into within the Royal Engineers, you'd have to make sure that they're actually recruiting for those jobs at whatever rank you're at now. But generally, it will just take a bit of time. That's it, 4 to 6 months, something like that, I would say. But it's all done online. But go and see your chain of command first, whatever happens, mate. Do you need to bring an iron and an ironing board to base it, or just an iron? Oh yeah, just an iron, I would imagine. Right, so before you get a basic, you're going to get given a kit list, and take whatever is on that kit list, and that will tell you whether you need an ironing board and an iron. If it says to take an ironing board and an iron on that kit list, take an ironing board and an iron on that kit list. If an ironing board's not on there, then don't take one. Is it possible to change officer role if you joined as a reg to an officer role? Enoch, yeah, you can. You can, but that will be a lengthy process as well, and that will be a lot of interviews going down that process as well. But you can do it. I know that because a couple of people have done it from the unit I'm at. So you can do it, but it can be a lengthy process. Javier Rodriguez, do I advise having a full driver's license before the army, or you can take driving courses after basic? So that depends on cap badge. That will depend on cap badge. That will. So say you joined, I know I mentioned the signals because I know a bit about it. If you joined the signals and you haven't got a driver's license, they'll teach you to drive. You will get your Cat B, your driver's license. They'll get you to drive. But it's entirely up to you, really. I would probably find out whether the army themselves will teach you how to drive, whatever Cat badge you're using, and save yourself a bit of money. So, Clown Ed, really like to know about your experience on the assault course. How tiring was it, and how did I feel afterwards? Yeah, it was just tough, man, because you just had people screaming at you, going all over the assault course, going up the cam there, up the logs and down the fireman's pole. And you got that big like A-frame netting as well. You have to get up and over. It's just tiring. But yeah, like the next day I was like pretty achy, but I'm quite lucky where I'm fairly fit anyway. I can't imagine what some of the other guys felt like. You did it like individually, then you do it as a relay race. Yeah, it's pretty brutal. It's pretty brutal, but yeah, it was worthwhile. I felt better during the day. But I'm glad I didn't have to do it again. Roland to Clown Ed, though, thanks for your question. I'll see you in 3 weeks. Can someone who is a soldier in the Commonwealth country apply for the UK Army? Yes, they can. Simeon from Malawi, how are you doing, buddy? If done with your phase 1 training at Catterick Infantry and you want to join your second choice, take you past your second choice of vehicle mechanics. So basically, if you've done your phase 1 and you want to join your second choice, will they let you join your second choice? Probably not. You'd have to transfer for that, I would imagine, mate. So you'd have to go through your what's it called? Your PSO, something support officer, something like your personal support officer. You'd have to go through them and speak to them about it, but it might be a possibility. Nathaniel, do you think it should be mandatory to serve in the military like other countries? That's a tough one, man. Probably not, because I don't think it would work. Because our military is so small. Perhaps do a stint in the reserves might be a little bit fairer, but probably not. To be honest with you, some people just aren't cut out for it, and it'd just be a nightmare for them. Absolute nightmare for them. So what should you do to prepare for the assault course? I don't know, sort of like hurt your legs, you'd have to do it. No, I'm joking. The assault course is just hard, no matter how fit you are, because you're carrying all your gear. No matter how fit you are, the assault course is fun if you're just doing it like once or twice. If you're doing it like 6 or 7 times and getting thrashed around it, because you're on like a promotion course, then it is hard. But it is fun. You'll have good experiences on the assault course. It was just this one particular. I've been on this assault. I used to teach the assault course as a PTI. I've done it hundreds of times. Just this one particular day was like the hardest physical exercise I've ever done. Javier, what's my max rep pull-ups? Man, I'm not great at pull-ups. I think my max rep is like 14. I was doing like 100 a day at one point. For a video on YouTube, but I only got up to 14 max in that, and that was a real grizz, a real struggle. I'm not generally great at pull-ups. My body just doesn't lend itself great to pull-ups. I'm really good at like press-ups, burpees, things like that, but pull-ups I'm not so great. Getting up to 20 in a year is definitely doable, and how you increase it is by watching my pull-up video, which I tell you how to get, so you can definitely get from 1 to 10, and then you can just take that further and go from 10 to 20. What regiments get less deployed? I think it's Cat badges. I think you probably find what Cat badges get deployed the least. Probably Clarks, I would imagine. Or you might get ETS, Education Training Service. I think that is the ETS. They might get deployed the least, but they're officers, everyone in there. So you might be looking at the Adjutant's General Corps, I would say, will get you deployed the least. Mighty Elf, after doing basic training, for instance, at Lympstone for the Royal Marines, would you then go into specialised training for your role? Yeah, you would from there, mate. Daniel Kimpton, what reg? Oh man, I'm so slow on answering all these, aren't I? I can't remember what you're talking about there. Might have to bang the other one in. David Scala, how do you join the Special Air Service? Right, you join the army, you bang in an application, you go on a week's sort of like inside course. They do loads of tests on that, and then they'll tell you whether to go back and actually go on to the SAS training. You've got to be in the army first. You'll submit the paperwork. That'll go through your chain of command, and you'll take it from there. Are there any qualifications required to join the signals? Yeah, I think the GCSEs. GCSEs you need for some roles, but not for all roles. What age did I feel my fittest in the army? I would say I was at my fittest in the army when I was probably about 34. I would say between 34 and 35, I was the fittest I've ever been. I've ever been by miles. Justice, can I join army officer as a soldier after doing your degree? Yes, you can. Like I said earlier, you just go through the transfer process, which could take a bit of time. Can take a bit of time, but you certainly can do that. Yeah. Can Commonwealth citizens join the SAS after joining the army? I would imagine so. Yeah. Well, I don't see why not. I don't see why not. It might just be a clearances thing. We might not be able to, but you can certainly try for it. That's for sure. What do you need to get a degree in to become? You don't need a degree to become an officer. You can. I see them fairly often. They call them non-grad officers, so it's those that haven't graduated university. So you don't actually need a degree to become an officer. Javier, may I join the light cavalry reserve? So I think they may teach me how to drive, because I may need to drive a jackal. Yeah, so they'll probably teach you how to drive. Fingers crossed. And if not, mate, you can just go and do it yourself. But you'll always do it once you find out whether they will. Go back. Seeing, can Commonwealth candidate apply from his or her country? Yeah, it's just really difficult at this moment in time on the website. It's like the website in accepting applicants at this moment in time, but yes, you can. So can't get. I agree. My body's absolutely not built for pull-ups. I've always struggled with them the most, which is surprising, actually. So Clownhead, why you struggled with them? That's strange, because your arms are massive, mind blowing. Why you struggle with that? Simeon Malawi, how was your experience with your phase 1 training? Want to know your experience. I'm going on 12th of June for my phase 1 training. I can't wait. The British Army's been my dream. My phase 1 training, right, was immense. Only because I had a really good room of blokes. And I'm still in contact with 2 of them still now. The majority of them are out. They've already got out. But I'm still in contact with 2 or 3 of them now from my basic training. So yeah, I was really lucky, because I had a really good troop corporal, I had a really good room of blokes, and it was just a really, really good crack. So making friends was my best part in basic training. The reg role that gets deployed the most, that'll be the signal red 18-6 probably. That's based at Hereford. They'll probably get deployed the most. I would say, but there might be more. There might be way more, actually, but from my personal experience. Javier, please allow replay with live chat enabled after this live stream is over. Massively useful stream. Well, thanks very much. Yeah, of course I will. Yeah, it'll be good to go. Go back. Thanks for replying. Yeah, no dramas, mate. Did I fire any US weapons? No, I didn't fire any. Oh, yes, I did. I fired an M40 when I was there. I was in the States for 3 months, and this guy took a shooting. One of the army captains, US Army captains. They had a range on the camp there in North Carolina. They had a range on there, so we went there, fired a M40, like a pump action shotgun, and a couple of pistols as well. That was a good crack at it. In fact, is it on my YouTube? I can't remember. I did put a short up on my YouTube channel. I'm not sure if it's still on there of my mate firing one of the weapons, actually. I didn't hear you quite well on how to join your second. Right, Simeon. So to join your second choice, you're going to have to speak to someone in basic training. However, if you're in basic training to go on to your first choice, then it might be difficult. But essentially, if your second choice is in the same cap badge as what you're joining still, then you might still be able to do it when you get to phase 2 training, if you're lucky. If not, you need to go to your chain of command when you get to basic training. Eduardo, if the age limit is 35 and 6 months, does that mean you need to be signed up by that time or actually in training? Yeah, so I think you need to be signed up by that time. So you need to have signed on the dotted line, accepted into the army by that point, and then you'll go into basic training from there. I'm fairly certain that's what it means. That's what I gather from it. Deersburg, son's going to his first recruitment appointment in Aldershot tomorrow. He's really excited to get the ball rolling. I bet he is, man. I bet it's a little bit nerve-wracking for you as well. But for me, it was a really good decision that I made. A really good decision. I didn't join up till I was a little bit older. I was 21 when I joined up, and I got like a diploma and things like that before I joined up. But yeah, hopefully he'll have a really good career. Really good career. Gary Donahue, what's the marijuana policy in the British Army? CAF are now allowed to consume weed. I'm not too sure on that. I'm not too sure on that. I'm not sure. I don't even know what CAF are. Sorry, me. Casper, good evening, sir. You may remember me from another live Q&A. My question is, how do law officers rank up? Does it require to do undergraduate and postgraduate degree? Oh man, that's a tough one. My mate did try and join as a civvy, but he's a celiac, so he couldn't join. But you'd go in as an officer. I think you'd need the qualification already. But what you can do is go to the recruitment center and they can sponsor you to go to university. Now, whether they can do that for law, I don't know. I do not know. But I'm pretty sure if they don't do that, you need the degree beforehand. An M40 into shotgun. No, that's good. But I fired an M40 and a shotgun, like I said, mate. Can ex-Indian army officer join the British Army? I don't know. You'd have to go and apply through the website for that, unless you could get on some sort of exchange and take it from there. But I honestly do not know. Unfortunately, as far as those concerned, sorry, mate. Javier, do you think fitness does decline with age? Yes, it massively declines with age. Fitness does. It's not so much. I'm still pretty fit now. However, it's the recovery process, because like if you say you have like a dietitian, your physio and things like that, you can go on for a while. But yeah, fitness most certainly declines with age, and I really notice it now. Gary Donahue, Canadian Armed Forces. Oh, the Canadian Armed Forces. Right. Okay. Yeah, it's a zero tolerance for drugs anyway in the British Army. How to prepare for the written test. I think I've done a video on that, but I'm not sure what your written test consists of, to be honest with you, Rahul, unfortunately. But at the end of the day, you just need to brush up on everything and speak to the recruitment centre, and they'll tell you exactly what you need to do with regards to the written test. Simeon, what can you advise me as I'm going to start phase 1 training so that I should be successful, and what should I expect? So basically, the key thing to do in phase 1 is do as you're told. Just be where you're meant to be. Do what you're told, and go there with the correct mental attitude and a bit of mental resilience as well. But the fact is, it'll absolutely fly by those 12 weeks. You're like, half the time you don't even know what's going on. You're bouncing from one lesson to another. Just the biggest thing is keep your room clean, keep your locker clean, listen to exactly what they tell you to do and how they tell you to do things, and you'll be absolutely fine. Don't ever think that you know more than the instructor. I think that's the key. And even if somebody else is telling you to do it one way, one of the lads in the room, but the instructor's told you to do it a different way, follow the instructor because it keeps it much simpler. Do you need to be very sociable guy to have a good relationship with others? Pretty shy. I'm worried about not getting along with other guys. That's Javier. You'll get along fine, mate. Lots of people are quite shy, and just be polite, and you'll be absolutely fine. And you don't. I didn't find many people that were really mean in basic training. Everyone was absolutely sound, absolutely sound. So I think you'll be good. I think you'll be good. Justice, what do infantry soldiers actually do in their daily day-to-day duties? I'm joking, infantry, but I don't actually know what they do apart from the other role. I don't know what they're going to be doing because I'm not part of the infantry, but it's going to be a lot of training, a lot of tactics, a lot of firing weapons and maintaining currency on their weapons, cleaning equipment, and that's pretty much it. And getting going on exercise will be a big one as well, and exercising with any new equipment that they have as well. Bob Bobbins, what's the best advice someone has given me in the army? The best advice I was ever given in the army is just don't put anything off. Don't put anything off, because that time's going to pass by. Don't think I'll do that qualification next year, or I can't be bothered doing that particular thing because it'll take too long. Like me and my degree, I wasn't going to do it because I'm like, this degree will take a year, that takes ages. But that year's going to pass by anyway. That year's going to pass by anyway, whether you do the degree or not. So you may as well just do something during that year. So just don't put anything off. And if you think something's going to take a really long time, it doesn't matter. That time's going to pass anyway. So you just need to crack on with it. That's the best one. Well, we're getting a long time now, isn't it? Javier is 26. Hopefully by 30 you'll be in the army. Fingers crossed you will be in the army, mate. Fingers crossed you will be in the army. Jonathan Simbango, SA-80 or the sharpshooter rifle. I've only ever used the SA-80, unfortunately. So because I've only ever used the SA-80, I'm probably going to say the sharpshooter rifle. How about that? The SA-80 is fine though, to be honest with you. Eduardo discovered he has a crackly knee. And they specifically look for that in the medical. Don't know if that's an automatic fail or if allowances are made on an individual basis. I don't like to get involved in medical too much. I know I did a video on it on what to look out for, but essentially it will be down to the medical officer and your medical history as well. Whether they'll fail you on the spot, I don't know. I can't say, but it'll be looking back over your medical history, and it'll be down to your medical officer as well. You might be lucky if it's not in your medical history, you might be lucky, and they might not even look for it. Commonwealth application that could start in September, or it could start next year, mate. It's an absolute nut. It's a minefield out there for Commonwealth applications at the minute. It is really difficult for people, but like I said, you just have to keep on and keep at it. What's the drinking culture in the army? Allergic to alcohol? Do you know what? The drinking culture's changed so much in the army. It used to be, we used to be on the gas all the time years ago, but now it is still pretty bad, but it's not as bad as what it was. And there are loads and loads of people that don't drink in the military now. Absolutely loads. So you'll be fine for that. Simeon, thanks for your advice. No problem, mate. How long can we serve in the army? Man, you can serve such a long time in the army now. Like some people have been extended to 30 years. So you could have a full 30-year career. And that's like a long, long time. So you could get up to a maximum of 30 years at this moment in time. Eduardo, thanks for your answers. No problem. Popsicle Ice. Hello. You're usually on my live. Thanks for popping up. And Javier, thanks. Yeah, no dramas, mate. Right, I think. Wow, that's gone on, man. 1 hour 20. That's I'm so glad everyone got on here and they asked me loads of questions, which was absolutely amazing. So thanks for that. There's no more questions. I'll shut this down in a. Okay, Popsicle Light says wait. Hang on, she is about to put a question in. Leon, any advice for a person? Any advice for a person wanting to be a CMT? Just, do you know what? It's. I think it's the same advice as I'd give anyone just joining the army. Is just embrace it. Just embrace the army. Embrace the training, and just be mentally astute. Listen to what you're being told, and you'll be fine. You'll be absolutely fine. Have a good day. Yeah, cheers, Bob. Can I do a backflip? Robbie, I can't do a backflip, mate. I can't even do a front flip. Unless I'm on a bouncy castle, then I can do a wicked front flip. But no, I can't do a backflip, unfortunately. Daniel, thanks. Yeah, no, thanks you. Thanks so much. Many years staying in UK before entering army. Just arrived a few months ago with your visa. Brilliant. It's happy days, Javier. Noel, how are you, mate? Hope you're well. Just saw this live later. Busy with uni. Just finished exams. Oh, mate, that's brilliant news. That is well done. Hopefully you pass on your exams as well. Fingers crossed on the Commonwealth recruitment. Oh my God, mate, fingers crossed for you, mate. Fingers crossed. Rahul, thanks. Daniel, extremely helpful. Yeah, no dramas. Javier, thanks for your advice. Absolutely no problem. Popsicle, should you work out for 4 days then rest? Do you know what? You can do. You can work out 4 days and rest. You can work out 5 days, rest for 2 days. I generally plan resting into my workouts, but if I don't feel like I need a rest day, I don't have a rest day. Some people like swear by rest days, etc. But if I don't feel like I want a rest day, I'll go for like a run or do something like that. So what you can do on your rest days is yeah, that you can then on your rest day you can just do like a bit of stretching, a bit of Pilates, yoga. There's loads of that stuff on YouTube. Pardon me, or go for just a slow jog, something like that. But yeah, it is good. It is good practice to have a rest day though, but it doesn't mean you have to like not do anything. Rahul is Indian and my great grandfather served in the British Army. Do you get some benefit of this? Oh, I don't know. I don't know about grandfather rights. So I can't really say. Unfortunately. Simeon, yeah, no problem. Thank you, mate. Thanks for coming into this. You tried then after workout 2 days after. Yeah, you can do. I tried working out 30 days, felt the change, but got slimmer and shaped. Yeah. Worked out 30 days solid. That is something else. Justice, Rahul, if you became a citizen, you've evidence you can use it to apply for your British passport. Yeah, on the answer, that's a really good point. That is Justice. So hopefully you've got that, Rahul, just in the comments there. Popsicle Eyes would like to bulk up. The things with bulking out, you've got to take on a lot of food and do a bit of hypertrophy and a bit of strength training as well. But to bulk up, you'd have to generally probably stop a little bit of running. If you're not naturally big anyway, you might have to cut down on CV and cut down on the amount of calories that you might be burning. So what else we got here? So yeah, I'm just getting like loads of messages as well off people now. So yeah, so right, that's it. That is absolutely it from me. No, what's the downside of being a huge lad in body mass during phase 1? I'm afraid it won't be that much. It won't be that much of a problem. As long as you can pass the fitness tests, you'll be okay. You will be okay if you can pass the fitness test, and you can pass the fitness test when you get through the assessment center. That's what it's there for. And when you get to basic training, it's not that hard. The phys is not that hard in basic training. You do like your role fitness entry. You won't do the difficult stuff until you get to either phase 2 or till you get to a working unit. So don't worry about it. Grizz it out. And you think it might be a problem anyway. And no doubt, being the person that you are, you're going to try and put that right beforehand and probably go for runs or something. Carbohydrates and more protein. Popsicle ice, bang on. Carbs, protein. That'll put you the weight on. Can you join the army without a British passport? I hold the British national overseas. Javier, if you're living in the UK now, you might be okay. You might be okay. Drop into a recruitment office. No, thinking of reducing working out with dumbbells, just doing body weight exercises. That'll do the trick, mate. Body weight exercises really, really will do the trick. So it's all round fitness. If Javier, if you've got like a British visa, you might be okay, Javier, for that. But I'm no expert in that field, so don't take my word for it. I would go into a recruiting office, and they'll be able to tell you exactly what you can do. Okay, that's it. No more questions. I'm done. Hour and a half. That is amazing. I think Commonwealth works for reserves. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it does. I got loads of questions on the hour. I really wasn't expecting to be on this long with loads of questions. So if it's gone well, I'll put a poll out, and perhaps we'll do another one next week, which I think really works for people on Tuesday evening. So we'll do another one next week. So Clownhead, good job. That was a great live stream. Thanks very much. You're a great bloke. Javier, okay, thanks. Okay, thanks to you. Other than that, take care. Oh, and see you later. So Clownhead, when is Commonwealth happening? Okay, Commonwealth happening will be in October or next year or July. I don't know. It's a nightmare. It's a minefield, the Commonwealth is. Anima Scola, thanks, Sam. Yeah, thanks for you. Thanks for popping. Thanks for popping along. Take care.